This video is sponsored by Phoenix Ferro Cards. If you need supplies of singles or splits for Cardfight Vanguard, especially the ones in the video, do check out Phoenix Ferro Cards today, and as a bonus, use the promo code MetaNerd to get an amazing 5% discount. And with that being said, let's get on with the video. Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the MetaNerd channel. I am Marcus, bringing you another video for Cardfight Vanguard Willdress. In this video, we'll be wrapping up the remaining cards for DBT13, where I think we're only left like 2 supports for 2 archetype, them being Soto Doji as well as Galactic heroes, as well as some of the more generic stuff. I'd basically just put them all together in this one video and just hopefully be done with DBT13, and as we move forward to hopefully DBT14, but that's like a few months away until that, like the first card being reviewed for DBT14. But alas, let's not make the intro too long and let's just start with the remaining cards for DBT13. First off, for Dragon Empire, we have Stealth Fiend Hitorima. Although when this unit is placed on Regal Circle, Soul Charge 1, and this unit gets 5k power until the end of turn. There's really nothing much to go for this unit other than him being a stealth unit, which is definitely meant to be played in Soto Doji deck. Since there are of course support that requires the unit to have stealth name to be either put into Soul or Superior Call to the Regal Circle, this card is quite nice in terms of giving the Soul Charge as well as a 5k power. Imagine if this card is being called by using the right line for Soto Doji. What you have here is basically a 13k attacker and a Soul Charge 1, which will come in handy when you go into your grade 3 turn. There are some cards within Soto Doji support that does kind of activate their skill in the Soul, specifically the 2 promo that Soto Doji gets at the moment. I mean, it's mind-boggling that these 2 cards are promo. These 2 cards provides a lot of value for Soto Doji. I mean, it's only the grade 2 that is going to be beneficial when he's being Soul Charged into the Soul. The grade 1 is okay. He's not really that great when Soul Charged, but of course, since Soto Doji do put cards from his Soul to the bind zone, he does basically have a really good synergy when he's in the bind zone. So it's not the most game-breaking skill, but of course, this card does provide you with some form of consistency into getting the cards that you want to the bind zone or the Soul, depending on what card you Soul Charged that is. Moving on. Next, we have Supporter of Profound Scales Rovania. Continuous back row center rearguard circle. All of your rearguards placed by your Vanguard ability this turn gets 5k power. It's pretty much a very straightforward skill. It's a double R, and yeah, it's really not that bad of a card to be run. The extra 5k for any superior calling skills that the Vanguard may have is really nice. It just means that whatever units that was called by using the Vanguard's ability will get an extra 5k, will make your push turn even better and even more disgusting. And the good thing about this card is that it's not really restricted to any right line within Dragon Empire is able to take advantage of this card. But once again, there's not a lot of cards that is able to take advantage of this card within Dragon Empire, because most of the boss unit within Dragon Empire doesn't really superior call stuff except a few. The best example of course is going to be Soto Doji, as well as the Snake, the promo boss unit that we have, and of course Eugene. But then again, who plays Eugene nowadays? The Snake does have a better synergy as compared to the other Dragon Empire, because he does call multiple units from the bind zone, and all of those called units are gonna get a 5k bonus just by having Rovania at the back row center rearguard circle. It's just really disgusting, and I could see this card being played in either Soto Doji or Megalonozuchi. This card is gonna provide a lot of disgusting value for these 2 decks. Not so much for Soto Doji, but the Snake, definitely a really good card. Next is Stealth Dragon Gonjouku. Although when this unit is placed on rearguard circle by a card's ability, if your opponent has 2 or less rearguards, this unit gets 10k power until the end of turn. Second skill, Auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, cast retire this unit and draw a card. I mean, this is like another new target for Soto Doji to call, or of course the Snake. The Snake and Soto Doji basically are the same deck. It's just whether or not you want to ride into the Snake or you just want to keep personal riding with Soto Doji. I mean, both decks do kind of function the same way. This card is basically a 20k attacker that has an on hit to draw 1. Of course, he needs to retire himself in order to get the draw, but keep in mind here is that there are quite a few stealth support that is able to just kind of recycle him back to the Soul or the bind zone. The best example here is going to be the grade 1 for Soto Doji, which on place and you're able to choose 1 stealth unit and put that card into the Soul, which will then be able to put to the bind zone and a superior call back. So it's a roundabout way of recycling this grade 2, but then again, but of course what I want to say here is that there is potential in recycling whatever stuff that retires from the board. The cost is essentially not really a cost. You just need like a big roundabout way. Next, for dark states, we have a 2-card combo, Pharaoh Retainer as well as Crafty Lord. For Pharaoh Retainer is the grade 3 auto. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle from hand during the main phase, choose a Crafty Lord from your soul and you may call it to rearguard circle. If you call a card, this unit gets 5k power until the end of turn. Second skill, auto rearguard circle. At the end of your turn, put this unit on the bottom of your deck. This effect is mandatory. For Crafty Lord auto, when this unit is put from rearguard circle into soul, cast Counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 Pharaoh Returner, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's basically like a 2 cards in 1 combo. They basically superior call each other whenever they are being played from the hand or being put from rearguard into the soul. This kind of acts like a mini engine inside this decks, provided of course if you even have space to run these 2 cards. But these 2 cards are pretty decent as they are providing you with a 18k attacker as well as a 8k booster that will just keep on superior calling the Pharaoh Returner, the grade 3. Fetch Pharaoh Retainer back into the hand, which you will then be able to call the next turn to call out another grade 1, which is quite nice in terms of 2 common cards. And technically speaking, you won't really like run out of these 2 cards. You could potentially run like 1 of each for these 2 cards since they practically just superior call themselves. But then again, I think the more important pieces out of these 2 cards is going to be Crafty Lord, because he's the only one that basically search from the deck for the grade 3. The grade 3 doesn't really search from the deck. He basically just superior call Crafty Lord from the soul, which isn't exactly the best skill, but the grade 1 I think is a much more important piece out of these 2 cards. Not exactly sure which right line is able to take advantage of this card. Maybe Gila in a sense, but then again, not really. But then again, it is an interesting combo engine to be introduced for this set. Next, we have Glamorous Overnight Rapturous. Although when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, cast Counterblast 1, put a grade 3 card from soul or drop that was in the right deck into right deck face up and soul charge 3. This is like a very rare on-place rearguard skill that soul charges 3. We don't see this kind of skill on a rearguard within dark states. I mean, the next best soul charging card that we currently have that causes 1 Counterblast is basically Pandemonium Tactics, which soul charges 4. But this is a rearguard that, you know, soul chargers. We don't normally see like a lot of rearguards that basically help soul chargers a lot of cards. This is actually a first, I think, in a long while to actually soul charge a 3. But the only downside to this card is that he is kind of late in terms of activation, because you need to put a grade 3 that is originally from the right deck into the right deck face up. So very late, and you can only use this card skill like once per game. Not really that great once you kind of go into the nitty-gritty of this card. And one more thing is that this card is kind of affected by a Mendine that does increase the soul charge count by 1. It's not game breaking, but it's just interesting that this card is kind of affected by a Mendine, which does makes this a soul charge 4. Not too bad, but at the same time not that great. Next, for Cater Sanctuary, we have Gigantech Assailer. Auto rearguard circle. When this unit attack, if you have a unit with Alden in its card name, soul charge 1, and if a trigger unit was soul charged, this unit gets 10k power until the end of that battle. So it's basically like a card that gives soul for any deck that plays Alden, because it only says if you have a unit with Alden in its card name. So technically any Cater Sanctuary deck is able to take advantage of this card, provided of course you are playing Alden. He is basically a conditional 23k attacker if you soul charge a trigger unit, but then again, soul charging a trigger unit is always a bad soul charge because triggers are triggers. But of course you do gain some leeway out of soul charging a trigger because he's a 23k, which is not that bad. Not really the greatest support, but still it is a nice card to just kind of replenish your soul resources for other skills that requires you to soul blast. Not too bad of a card, I would say. Next, we have Bringer of Fervor, Lill. Although when this unit is placed on rearguard circle by your card's ability, you may soul charge 2. So speaking of soul resources, you have a card that basically helps you soul charges whenever he's being called by a card's ability. Whenever you need a soul charge card that your deck is naturally able to superior call stuff from the deck or hand, this card is quite actually not too bad in terms of getting you soul charges. But then again, random soul charges is always a big no-no. You already have cards like Drilling Angel that basically helps you with soul charges, so there's really very less incentive to run run cards like these. And what's more, this card is basically restricted to Superior Call by skill only, then she's able to soul charge. Essentially, this card is kind of a vanilla card in a sense. Youthberg, Alden, as well as Azel is able to take advantage of this, but most probably Alden, due to how soul hungry Alden can be, because you don't really want to soul blast in Youthberg, and Azel technically does not really need a lot of soul anyway. Yeah, most likely Alden will be considering to run this card inside its deck. Other than that, not really that much. Next, normally I will go into Stoichia, but it seems like I do cover like most of their Stoichia cards already, so we're just gonna go Brandgate. Feel free to comment down if I miss a card or two that you think needs to be in this video. For Brandgate, we have the two cards that is from Galactic B Heroes. Galactic B Heroes Very Capas. Auto Rigor Circle at the end of your turn, scout this unit and a card with B Heroes and a card name from your hand to the base. Draw a card and choose a base from your order zone and stand. So this card is basically just to help you get more pieces from the deck or hand to, you know, scout into the base, which you could then use for the next turn or use on your defensive turn, which is quite nice. I think it's more towards the defensive side because this card does help reactivate whatever base set order that you use to Superior Call your heroes unit from the base, which is quite nice, and it's really helping out the defensive play for Unite Dionysos. Of course, Rampart Ashida, the Captain America here, is going to be the prime target to be scouted, not only for the defensive side, but he's able to provide the much needed soul resources for B heroes to function as an overall, because you need one soul to kind of shift your stuff around, and there is another card that basically costs one soul to get your much needed base order. This card, although not the most game breaking, but he does provide defensive play as well as, you know, more utility unit for hero deck as an overall. Not too shabby, I would say. Next is the girl hero, which everyone apparently has been simping for. Galactic B hero Amass Darnia. For some reason, I call her Anna the Amass. For some reason. Although when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle, if you have a Vanguard with B hero in its card name and a base was not put into your order zone this turn, cast Soul Blast 1 and discard a card from your hand, search your deck for up to one base card and put it into your order zone and shuffle the deck. Second skill, Auto Rigor Circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attack, if you have a Vanguard with B hero in its card name and your order zone has 3 or more base, cast Soul Blast, Counter Blast 1 and retire this unit, choose one of your scouted card and call it to Rigor Circle. So just this one card alone, she actually provides a lot of value for a hero deck. Previously, before this card was revealed, Unite Dionysos kind of rely on Eben Robust, a grade 3 robot, to help search out the base set order from the deck. This is basically that replacement. Shifting from Counter Blast to Soul Blast 1 is a very nice change of resources and kind of remove like the need to, you know, spend that one Counter Blast to search out a set order. It's a very nice change of resource because this deck kind of uses a lot of Counterblast as is already without looking into the second skill, so yeah. The biggest difference here between this card and Eben Robust is that Eben Robust puts the set order to the hand, whereas this grade 2 directly puts the base order to the set order zone, which will then trigger the filtering effect of the base order, which is definitely very nice. And you are able to set up 3 base order in one turn. One from this card, one from your hand, as well as one from a grade 2 PR card that is Galactic Hero. Very disgusting. Imagine all 3 base order that was being set to the set order is able to filter 3 cards out from the deck. Deck compression 101. Disgusting. The discard one kind of replenishes itself because of the base set order. Technically doesn't really cripple the deck a lot because, you know, once again, deck compression as well as getting back one card from the base order is just really good. Second skill is quite vital in terms of increasing the number of attacks that heroes can make. At the maximum, heroes is able to make 4 attacks, and with this card being in the mix, you are able to kind of make like up to 8 attacks if I'm not mistaken, assuming that 3 of these units is in the base order. Then yeah, the only problem is you will need to use 4 Counterblasts. Not the best use of your resources and is pretty much deniable by the opponent. Since this card does retire herself after using her second skill, you are able to just kind of scout her back from the drop zone by using both Salot's skill. But then again, both Salot as well as this card does cost 1 Counterblast, so I don't think you will have a lot of Counterblasts to even consider re-scout this card back into the base order. You will need to be very careful in terms of how you manage your Counterblast, because it is not going to be easy to kind of balance out your Counterblast. It's very hard. But overall, these 2 cards do help out the hero deck tremendously. And yeah, it's going to be very disgusting. And don't be surprised if they keep checking triggers. This deck filters a lot. Last but not least is surprise attack monster Skypouncer. Although when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle, cost Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, choose a set order from your drop or face up in your damage zone and put it into the hand. If you put a card from damage zone into a hand, put the top card of your deck into damage zone. So it's a utility unit to kind of get your set order either from drop or damage zone is super nice, because Brangit just feels bad whenever a set order is gone to the damage zone. It's very sad. But with this card around, you are able to kind of reuse the card that was in the damage zone to be put into the hand, which you can then be played into the set order zone, which is very nice. The problem of this card is that you can only put a face up set order from the damage zone, which is a little sad because you can't really like pay that one counterblast on the set order. Kind of bad. You're gonna be kind of tight in terms of your counterblast, because not only are you counterblasting and soul blast 1 to get a set order, you still need to play the set order from your hand, which may or may not cost counterblast or soul blast, depends on what order you are playing. Not really the best support. It's a nice utility, but sadly you are just getting the set order to the hand instead of putting it into the set order. Not the best one, but still this card does help in terms of breaking situation. But it begs the question, do you want to run this card or do you want to run more set order just for the consistency? That's the big question. And that is all for this video. Do let me know down in the comment section of what do you think of the rest of the support for DBT13. Do like and subscribe if you like this video, and of course during the bell notification icon so that you don't miss a video I upload. With that being said, I'll see you all on the field.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.